Coming out. I think it's a pretty decent first topic. First off, I want to say I was really lucky with the way I came out. I didn't really have any issues with the way it was received from the important people in my life, or from kind of the general community that I'm a part of. I grew up right outside Washington, D.C., and it's a very liberal, well-educated area where people are really accepting, and if you're not really accepting, you're probably going to have issues being accepted yourself. I came out when I was 19. It was winter break of my freshman year of college. I came out because I had my first kiss and it tasted like skunk weed and wine, like table wine. It was bad. It was under the stars, which was cute. So basically, I got home really early in the morning, slash really late in the morning, I guess, after a night out with some friends from high school, and my parents were awake for some reason at that hour, and they were like, where have you been? And I was like, I made out with that boy from my German class in middle school. And that's how I came out. I proceeded to tell them that I needed a nap, and I walked away and I took a nap. At first, it was definitely kind of like, they were worried because I'd never explored any type of sexuality as an adolescent, and I was at an age where I think they were worried that I was becoming just kind of desperate and willing to accept any attention that I did get in that realm, which I knew better. I had always kind of known that I was, I just didn't bother to address it because I had such deep issues with just myself as a person in general that I didn't really want to address my sexuality. I felt like that would complicate everything a bit more than I really needed it to be. My one friend from high school, she already knew because she was there when I made out with Liam. So that happened. She already knew, and I don't even remember really having to tell my friends. I think they just all kind of knew. I remember telling them that I had my first kiss. That was the more exciting part. But the actual coming out as gay thing, I don't think was completely necessary. My best friend Anna told me that her and my dad used to have conversations when we were in like the 7th or 8th grade, about how they just wished that I would come out and explore, and that they thought it would make me happier. And I think part of me wonders what would be if I had come out earlier, if I had been willing to add that extra element to my life and complicate things so much more. But I didn't, and no regrets. I came out when I came out, and I really never had any issues with it. I realized that a lot of people do, and that's something that even in such a progressive area like DC, you still see it. It's a very transient city, so we see a lot of people from elsewhere, and a lot of the people I went to high school with are the children of diplomats from countries where they might not accept gay people, where it is even still illegal. So a lot of people from high school came out late. I was probably one of the earlier ones to come out, at least from like my grade, a grade or two below me. I started to be more open, and people began to be openly gay in my high school. But when I was there, it wasn't really a thing. There was definitely people like you knew. Yeah, so that was my coming out, and since then I've really made it a point to be willing to hear people's stories. It's something that I know, once again, I know that I was very fortunate and I was very lucky to be received very well. I think it was very much a breath of relief. I think I had a lot of energy that needed to be released, and that was part of that, and a lot of frustrations and things like that. And I think being able to come out and starting to process that part of who I am helps me process the fact that I was a freshman in art school and I was learning to hate art, which was always my outlet. So I was finding new outlets, losing old ones, and facing, kind of having to rekindle ones that I had lost. I know I've heard some pretty dreadful stories, but some pretty inspiring ones too, and I think no matter what, as members of the LGBT community, no matter if you come out as gay or bi or trans or what have you, I think it's a pivotal point in our lives, no matter who you are. I've been told by a friend of mine who is a counselor largely for gay couples at a health center in DC. And he basically just told me it's kind of this fascinating phenomenon. Heterosexuals mature in a very linear pattern because they have examples of how to act. They have reasons to feel comfortable in who they are in the most basic of ways. And at least for me growing up, and probably really only young kids nowadays are beginning to see frequent examples of things like that. But for me growing up, we didn't have examples like that. And I know I've dated older men and they had even fewer than I did. They had even more reasons to be closeted for even longer. And we don't really start maturing in some ways until we can fully kind of live our truth in that manner. I know for me, looking back almost over 5 years ago now, looking back 5 years, I know that it was definitely a big point in maturing for me. I've become, I think, to an extent who I expected, but in many ways I've surprised myself, which is probably the more exciting part. I like that I've found ways to surprise myself and not be who I always thought I was going to be, and to do new things and to do stupid things and do smart things and wonderful things. I think coming out, no matter who you are, is extremely pivotal. I am so happy to hear that there's, 5th graders and 6th graders coming out, because for me it was something that I would have never considered. And I'm so happy that nowadays kids don't have to worry as much, or at least I hope they don't. From what I hear, I know, there's more people than I ever thought there would be that don't have to deal with the bullying around coming out. But it does make me happy that even in the face of adversity, more and more people are coming out at an earlier age and able to have that fulfilling adolescence that I didn't have because I came out so late. Once again, no regrets. It's is what it is. I can't go back and change it. And that was my coming out. I told my parents I was gay and I took a nap. It's kind of a good metaphor for my life as a gay man since then. Kind of lazy, sassy, blunt, in need of a nap. Pretty tired. So that was my coming out. Feel free to comment, share your story, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to hear about next, and let me know if you guys need anything. I'm here to help you.